I'm Jillian and I'm 15. So one of my favorite things to do is to play sports, definitely basketball. Just like to hang out with like my family and friends.
Jillian is, she's salty, she's a little spicy, she's sweet, she's a fierce and loyal friend. I wish I had the confidence that she has to kind of go into any room and be Jillian.
She's really overcome so much.
Well, 2.5 months old, she started getting a distended stomach, so a large stomach, and she was becoming jaundiced. And so when we took her to the doctor, her pediatrician, they did some tests and blood work, and then said, okay, you guys get to go home for a few days. Doernbecher's waiting for you on Tuesday.
So Jillian was diagnosed with biliary atresia. It's a pediatric liver disease, and it's actually the most common reason for liver transplants in children. It's so critically important for us to diagnose biliary atresia early and then try to do an intervention.
And I remember handing my baby over to the nurse, just pleading with her to save Jillian's life. Later, when Jillian was 11 years old, they started to notice lesions on her liver, on the left node. They thought it was cancerous, and so she had a biopsy on Christmas Eve. So luckily, it was not cancer. They were benign, but it was still, they were big enough that they were causing problems.
When you have ongoing irritation to the liver, you can be at risk for developing liver tumors. And ultimately for Jillian, that's what triggered the decision for a liver transplant.
While my name was on the transplant list, it was definitely like a little nerve-wracking.
The phone rang, and you know, there was a lot of phone calls happening at that time, and she would always look at me like, Mom, is it important, you know?
And when that phone did ring, my mom was like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I feel fine. And she goes, okay, she's feeling fine.
And this time I was like, okay, they have a liver for you. From the time we got the phone call that the liver was ready, it was about 7 to 8 hours before she was in surgery. She was discharged and allowed to come home 6 weeks to the day after transplant.
So Jillian is doing great. She's a few years after transplant, liver transplant right now. She's doing exactly what we hope she's doing after transplant.
The doctors were telling us she has to stop playing contact sports. And we're like, yeah, she's not gonna fly with that.
Sports are like really important to me because I'm very competitive and I'm just able to be me.
But it was a risk that we kind of had to calculate that it was in her best interest to allow her to play sports. And then when she scored her first goal, that was a memory.
And I remember coming back from the game and my parents are crying. I'm like, why are we crying? Like, oh, you know, it's funny. You know, we both just got